Well, hello, everybody. Hello, Leo, and hello, Jordan Maxwell. I'm absolutely astonished that I've reached you guys here today. Happy holidays, by the way. And my name is Lawrence, also known as Pure Infinity. How are you guys doing today?
Very well.
Very well, thank you.
Merry Christmas, man.
Will you like to ask a question?
Thank you so much, sir.
Will you like,
yes.
like to answer a question to Jordan or to me or to Colin?
Ask. Yeah.
Yes. For the past year, I have been in certain people who have been doing research primarily on the Zionists, and I feel like they've been stuck, naming the Jews and things like this, and they're not looking beyond just the religious aspect. And I always refer to them as they should look not at the merchant class, but also at the higher class who control the actual narrative and civilization, and that would be the dark priesthood class.
Well, I will first of all
comment on it.
I will first of all intervene myself because I dedicate a whole chapter to this topic in my new book to make clarity, because I think it's very important. It's very important that we distinguish what is really happening within the Jewish world. Like we talked earlier on, the Sabbatean Frankist heresy is part of what you are talking about. So people mix up all this, and in the end, the Rothschilds, who are not really real Jews who believe in the real traditions of their faith, but in an heresy, are basically are basically ruining the name of the Jews, and they are incentivizing Zionism. And I'm sure that Jordan agrees. So Jordan, please.
No doubt about it. Yes, I was going to say that something you might want to keep in mind too, Leo, in your studies, that there is, in point of fact, some kind of a connection, which is very dark and very well hidden. For many years, people have never known about it. Very hidden connection between Judaism as a religion and Nazism as a political presence on the earth. Nazism and Judaism share a lot of stuff behind the
actually, the point of contact in my studies is basically the Sabbatean Frankists, because they were in a specific island in Turkey, the island of Salonico, and in this island they interfaced with people like Rudolf Ossenbottendorf, who became then the founder of the Thule Gesellschaft, who then helped the founding of the Nazi Party, of the NSDAP. So I think that this is already a good start. What do you think, Jordan?
Well, I think you're exactly right, and I think there's more to the story yet.
Yeah.
Because
sorry, Jordan, excuse me. So you're talking about Sabbatean Zevi, right, Leo?
Yes, Sabbatean Zevi, and obviously later on you have his reincarnation, or his claimed reincarnation, which was this Jacob Frank. And the interesting thing is that these covert Jews, because you see, Sabbatai Zevi in 1666 converted officially to the Islamic faith, leading a new trend in the Jewish faith, Jordan, which I'm sure you agree, it's a very bad trend, because it created these covert Jews that pretend to be one thing, but in reality they are doing another.
Something totally different, yeah.
And 1666? Isn't that the act of 1656 with the Feste Kevitra?
I've seen many pictures in my research, many pictures of Hitler giving a Kabbalistic hand sign before large audiences. He's giving a Kabbalistic Jewish symbol before a large audience. I got photographs of that.
But the thing, Jordan, is that people need to understand, and I had a special a few weeks ago, which people can find on my channel, which has seen the participation of a friend of the late Barry Kamish, which I'm sure you remember, and we talked about all this misinterpretation of the Jewish people and of the Jewish faith, because these heretics, they promoted sexual magic. They promoted human sacrifice. Jacob Frank, in the end, he became even a Catholic and made a deal to get 20,000 Jews to convert to Catholicism. And then he got the title of Baron in exchange. So here we are really seeing something that is not traditional Jewish faith. That's why I really want to clear this point up, because then then you create misconceptions, and that's why David Icke then was attacked so much, and recently couldn't even enter Australia because of what happened with the and now even him is starting to talk about the Sabbatean Frankists. So he's starting to redirect his own study. What do you think?
Jordan has a really good story about Frankenstein and the Sabbateans, right, Jordan? The Frankies.
Yes. Well, there is a connection between the Sabbateans, the Nazi Party with Adolf Hitler, and the occult Jewish religion, not the regular Jewish religion that you read in the Bible, but there's a different religion that's being practiced around the world by people who call themselves Jews, but they're not Jews. They're using that title so that you say anything about them, they can say you're anti-Semitic.
Of course.
No, not anti-Semitic.
And to insulate themselves.
Yeah.
It's like a way of weaponizing the Anti-Defamation League. It's all about that.
Yeah, but all over the world,
Old religion? Is that what they're practicing?
Yeah, I would say that's what they practice in Jordan. The Sabbatean Frankists were actually practicing indulgence through sin, because they believe, most of all, that they will be able to manifest the end times only if they sin enough. That's the thing.
That's right. Only if they sin enough.
Yeah. So I hope we gave you a good
balance, right?
Yeah. I hope we gave you a good answer, and we will give also the possibility for other, of course, viewers and listeners to intervene. Thank you so much for being. Sorry?
Pleasure's all mine, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
God bless you.
Merry Christmas, man.
Merry
Have a
Christmas.
nice one. Thank you for
It
calling.
was great to have somebody. We have already another call, of course.
My God, he's hot. That's the hotline there.
We're very popular. So who we have online?
How are you, Leo?
Hello.
Jordan Maxwell and the other gentleman on Calator Mensa. Long time.
Calling here.
Leo. Love your show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So where are you calling from?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Okay. Any questions for Jordan?
Yeah, I like how you opened up the show about the contrast between the sun, S-U-N, and the sun, S-O-N. And it leads directly into, I want to ask, how aware is he of Sunday being venerated around the world and the Roman Church pushing for that, as it did in the past? That it's encoded in the Pope's encyclical Laudato Si, that the United States is actually going to do this first. How aware is he of this plan?
Jordan?
Well, I'm not understanding fully because I didn't understand it too well. What was he? What was
the question? How aware is he of the plans to reinstitute veneration of Sunday worship?
Well, I think it's going to happen because that's what the world, all of mankind is involved in, is sun worship. All of mankind is involved in sun worship in one way or another in our religions. Our religions are all based on worship of the sun. If you go to any synagogue in the whole world, any synagogue, you will see that the Jews will tell you that the name of God is so holy and so important that you cannot use the name of God. You should not use it.
Right.
But if you want to talk about the God of the Jews, there is a word that the Jewish population of the world says it's okay to use. It's all right for you to use the name which represents the Almighty God, but it is not God's name. It just represents the name of God, and that's called the Tetragrammaton. It's called the Tetragrammaton. That's not God's name, but it represents the God of the Jews. It's called Tetragrammaton. And the Tetragrammaton is always inside of a sun symbol, always inside of a round sun, and the sun is very yellow, and it's got the spokes of the sun rays, and then inside there are 4 Hebrew letters called Tetragrammaton. And the Jews will tell you that it's all right to use that word Tetragrammaton to use God's name. There it is. See the round letters, the 4 letters around the round sun. Yeah. So that's called the Tetragrammaton. Why is it called Tetragrammaton? Well, you can see on the right the round sun, the round yellow with the 4 letters inside. That's the name of God in Hebrew that it's all right to use. It's called Tetragrammaton because it's tetra is 4. Well, there's 4 letters.
4, right.
Greek.
Tetra is 4. Gram, Gramm, gram is a letter like A, B, C, or D is called a gram. Tetragram are 4 letters for the God of the Jews, Aton, A-T-O-N, Tetragrammaton. That's the name of the God of the Jews. Aton, the sun god of Egypt. Go look it up in the dictionary. A-T-O-N is the sun god of Egypt, God the sun. And so the Jews are still worshiping the sun god, but it's the most eclectic religion on the earth. The single most eclectic religion on the earth today is Judaism. By eclectic, I mean like a smorgasbord in a restaurant. You can take a little here, take a little of that, take a little bit of this, and take a little bit of that, and put it all together in one plate. We'll call it Judaism.
But it's also true, and we have to say that, Jordan, otherwise it will create misconceptions, that there is traditional Judaism that is a good thing in a way because it's not is prohibiting certain practices like magic and so on. And then instead we have these dark forms of Judaism that became heretical, that were actually prohibited by most rabbis. There was a big war against the Sabbatean Frankists that was fought within the Jewish community. So, I mean, it's important that we also give to the right, to the people of Jewish faith also what's right. I mean, they are also a faith that has brought a lot of positive things. And
I know that. There's no doubt about that. But that is not because of the religion of Judaism. It's because they have been taught and child have been brought up to respect decency and to stand up for what is right and be decent.
Well, we see also the difference now when you are in the Middle East and the only country where actually they have a civil Western approach is actually Israel, because the rest of the Middle East is a mess, Jordan.
I know that, but what I'm saying is that Judaism as a religion has inculcated a lot of pagan ideas and belief systems over the thousands of years. And one of them is the worship of the sun god of Egypt, Aton. That's why the name of God in Hebrew is Tetragrammaton. Tetragrammaton is the worship of the Aton, or the Egyptian god of the sun.
Because like Gerald Massey said, they are like a breakup group from Egypt, basically. And this was also a theory that was portrayed within Illuminati lodges.
I think maybe they are, because they're worshiping the Aton, the Tetragrammaton.
So you will actually claim that Aton could be Moses in some way?
No, I'm saying I believe that there was, in fact, and point of fact, there was no Moses. No Moses ever existed.
This is very controversial. This is very controversial, what he's saying.
Yeah, well, the truth is always very controversial.
I've heard you state that many times before, and I agree with your foundational position that Judaism, this breakoff Judaism, is an eclectic mixture of a lot of different religions, and foundationally it has a lot to do with Babylonian Talmudism. That's very evident,
Well, Moses is not a name.
Myself, and having taken it in high school, I mean, it was like getting a little primer there. I'm aware of a lot of the things you say, but it's good to have it refreshed. And thank you for your reply to my question. I'll hang up now.
Thank you. We will give also space, of course, to other people who want to intervene. Thank you for intervening.
Thanks for calling, man. And remember that something that Jordan said was very important, that actually Moses is not a name, it's a title. So Moses is not a name. Also, there was psychiatrist, very famous one. He wrote about Moses being Akhenaten.
Yeah, what was his name? I remember that.
It was not Carl Jung. It was Sigmund Freud. Sigmund
Freud. That's right.
And 3 months later, he almost got killed.
I don't doubt it.
And was saved by, I think it was a dwarf, a man, because he was trying to get his mold taken out or something, and they tried to poison him, and some retarded man or some dwarf, I don't remember the story, I remember vaguely.
Now somebody here calling is and this is actually a topic before we end the show I would like to touch, because it's also part of my latest book, Atlantis. Atlantis has always played a very important role in the various mystery schools. It has played an important role in the Jesuits with Athanasius Kircher and his studies on the map of Atlantis and so on, but also the studies in Lake Titicaca, who was said to be the city of Atlantis. And of course, there is Paul Lecour, which is this character who made some very interesting studies, which was particularly followed by what then became the Priory of Zion and all that part of things. Can you tell us more about that, Jordan?
Well, you know better than I do about the profound presence in Italy of secret societies, Masonic orders, and the mafia, La Cosa Nostra, and it's the political system in Italy for the past 1,000 years has been very, very violent, very scary, and with the coming of Giuseppe Mazzini and Adriano Limi and some of the other Italian mafiosis.
Well, we can say that the mafia has always been part of Sicily, because Sicily has a background that goes back to
it goes back thousands and thousands of years.
And of course, people forget, like yesterday, we touched on the arrest of over 300 people and various representatives of regular Freemasonry connected in Calabria. And I've also exposed how some of them were actually people who were suing me for defamation for saying things that are now being proven to be right because they are being arrested. So now I'm going to sue the Italian government for what they have done to me and my family, Jordan.
Yeah.
This has really been a big injustice. But aside from that, the ancient Atlantis and the connection, of course, we know with the Timaeus, with Pythagoras, then with Athanasius Kircher, with the Jesuits, the Atlantean adepts. This knowledge goes back to the time of Atlantis, Jordan.
That's exactly what I think. I think that's where all of our knowledge is coming from Atlantis. I believe that Atlantis did exist, and it does exist under the ocean today in the Atlantic Ocean. And I think that a lot of our belief systems are based on the ancient Atlantean beliefs. And I've been close friends with Manly Palmer Hall and people like that. I have known them personally and studied under them, and there's no doubt in my mind that they're right when they say Atlantis gave us the foundation for what we are today. our belief systems, our political systems, our philosophies, all came from a higher civilization.
But then
Far.
all the stories of Atlantis talk of a clash, of something bad that happened, something that at one point these Atlantean adepts dealt into black magic. They went the negative path. That's why.
That's right. I agree with that. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. But they did exist. That's my point.
Yeah.
They did exist.
But are they the ones who are carrying that dark phase through our society that ends up with Nancy Pelosi and goes all the way back to Atlantis, going through the Jesuits? Because, Nancy Pelosi was hanging out in Georgetown when she met her husband.
I know.
People don't know that. And in Georgetown, there is a secret society known as the Stewards. Let's answer. We have another listener.
Nancy
Welcome to the
Pelosi
show.
does a lot of drugs.
Hello.
Nancy Pelosi, she is high on drugs.
Colin, we have a listener. So I wanted to just know who we have on. Hello, who we have online?
Nancy Pelosi.
No, it's not Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, hi.
Hello. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Adirondacks, New York.
Okay, from New York.
Merry Christmas, New York.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you for calling in, and please, you have the floor for a question with Jordan Maxwell.
Yeah, I had called Jordan on one of the up shows. I live in the Stanley Tool Cottage, which is sort of a Masonic design to the building. And I saw you guys live on YouTube, so I had to call in. I wanted to ask Jordan about the Mars Pluto event, middle January. I think they crash markets when that happens. I wonder if you're aware that that's what's going on, because the last one was October 2007.
Jordan?
No, I'm not aware of what you were talking about. Explain it a little bit better.
It's astrology. You have these alignments of planets, and they happen according to what's really a math formula.
Well, actually, we talked about it earlier in the show, in fact, with Jordan, about these alignments. You are saying there is a specific alignment coming up this January.
Yes, there's a market timer, #1 rated timer in America by the name of Arch Crawford, and he's pointed to the middle of January as being an alignment between Jupiter, Mars, Pluto, and of course Mercury, because it moves so fast. And the last time this happened was October of 2007. There's a lot to sort of timing and so forth in markets. We have this meltdown going on with the repo markets right now. They're flooding the markets with money. I mean, this can't be good, right?
Well, you're talking about October 2008, I think, because that's when it really crashed. The Lehman Brothers thing happened. I think it was October 2008. Did something happen in October 2007, or we're mixing things up here?
It was the same alignment. It was the alignment of Mars, Jupiter, Pluto. Apparently, is an American a marker planet. Going back to 1776, and this is part of sort of the Masonic lore. God is clockmaker. The planets move according to a rhythm and a pace.
So you are announcing there will be basically a crash in the stock market, a crash that will bring the economy down again in the middle of January.
Yes, here's the thing, though. The guy that's really on top of it, his name is Arch Crawford, and he runs a newsletter called Crawford Perspectives. And I've followed Arch for about 40 years, and I've never known him to be wrong. That's the problem with this. Now, you're talking about astro theology, but there's something more physical to the connections. It may, in fact, affect our biology, our electrical flow through our bodies, and everything else. It causes these things to happen that we don't understand.
Jordan, I think that you will have a say on that, because I saw you were nodding with your head. And I mean, I know for a fact that the planets affect us, the stars affect us, everything that is around us, even the so-called black matter is not really like there is no matter in space. We have all kinds of things going on around us.
Yeah, of course we do. And I've been talking about astrology for many, many years, and I am totally convinced that there is a connection with our life on this earth in the astrological configurations in the heavens, where the sun is and where you were when you were born, where the sun was. I understand the concepts, and I know that Nostradamus is still famous today because of his astrological predictions, and it was an incredible time for the world to learn how the world actually works, how our solar system really works. And this is why we call Jesus. Jesus is God's Son, S-U-N. God's Son, the light of the world. Of course, the sun is the light of the world. And he has 12 helpers, the 12 signs of the zodiac, the 12 brothers of Joseph, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 apostles. Everything in the Bible talks about 12. Why? Because the 12
I can confirm that, because when I went through my Illuminati training in the AA back in 1993, when I was on the dark side of things, and I went through this initiation, and I remember vividly going through the 12 signs of the zodiac, and it was really incredible experience, which I lived and I relive sometimes in my mind, and I'm like shocked for what I have seen during those movements, because it was like 12 movements that you had to do that were following the analogy of the 12 signs of the zodiac.
Yeah.
And through these 12 movements that you were repeating, and you were repeating them faster and faster, then your mind will have to grasp certain communications that will come through from the future. And
Leo,
yes,
I'm receiving a communication here. This is Giorgio. I put some gel on him today. He's my special Christmas call, one of my little communicators here with the aliens in Alpha Centauri. And he's telling me that actually Uncle Donald is going to change the 22nd Amendment to become president forever, even after death.
Well,
And
I wouldn't mind that.
You know, have many millions on Facebook and Twitter. It's great. It's like owning a newspaper without the losses. It's incredible.
And he's going to catch George Soros just right on January, when all the conjunction is all together: Mars, Jupiter, the Reds, the Communists, the Socialists, all together in jail.
Colin, I would like to thank the listener who is still online with us for having called in and for having inspired us with this information. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you too, Leo, and Jordan and everyone. Really, thank you.
Thank
Colin
you.
here. Yeah, thank you for calling, man. Merry Christmas in New York and a Happy New Year.
And we are basically continuing for another
24 hours.
minutes this show. We have only 70 minutes. So just guys, if you want to make another call, you can. The lines are open still. We have still Jordan with us. It's a great honor as usual.
Call in 970-577-6369, 2020 Vision, and get a message approved by our Uncle Donald right here.
God bless you, and God bless America.
And make Christmas great again.
Let's make it's important that we make really this Christian holiday great again, especially because if the Democrats were in power, we would probably, I don't know, be worshipping God knows what.
I know. Yeah.
They are what I feel is like the cities ruled by these Democrats are becoming city ruled by Democrats, where people are increasingly possessed. They actually go and poop into shops. They do all kinds of things that, I mean, I don't even see this as being any more civilized country here in California, when you have so many things that remind us of a third world country in towns like San Francisco or LA. You used to live in LA. How do you
for
see
60
LA?
years, 60 years I lived in Los Angeles and Hollywood area. And
now-
I had so many friends who would take me to locations where there were human sacrifices,
Oh my God.
where there were
honestly.
blood rituals going on. I
But
mean,
now it's not about the blood ritual, the human sacrifice. Now it's about these humans becoming zombies on meth and basically becoming possessed in front of you.
I know that, but that's what they make movies. They even make movies about zombies.
It's sad though to see that these cities are carelessly being kind of going sent almost backwards, no, towards the dark ages. It's like we have sickness that we thought didn't exist anymore that reappear.
Yep.
It's totally disgusting.
I know.
How can we stop all this, Jordan?
We can't. You cannot stop it. It's too big. It's been going for so long, and America has put up with the bad influence of teachers and university professors who are teaching the young people to overthrow the government. And so therefore we have the rock and roll, the revolutionary stuff going on in the 60s, the bringing in of narcotics in the 70s, the CIA bringing in narcotics and spreading drug abuse across America. The CIA.
Another phone call, Jordan. We have
My God, we
somebody.
got the hotline.
Okay, who we have online with
It's
us?
boiling there.
Oh, okay, so who we have?
Hello.
Hello, where are you calling from and your name?
I'm calling, this is Jason, I'm calling from Washington State, and I have a question for Leo and Jordan.
Okay, and your name? Your name? Because
Nobody asked me anything, man.
My name is Jason.
Okay, Jason.
And
Perfect.
my question is I've been looking into a new person out on the scene called Adam Green, and he seems to be finding all kinds of information about this Zionism that seemingly all these leaders around the world, even though they're not admitting it, they all seem to be a part of it, like including Putin, and especially Donald Trump.
Okay, can I interrupt you a second? I actually followed a little bit this Adam Green a couple of days, a few months ago, just to see what he was all about. Now, I understand that he accuses us, all of us at InfoWars, of being a bunch of Zionists and so on. The thing is but the thing is that we go back to what we have said at the beginning of this show. You have to really research this topic to understand it, and then to discern it, because otherwise you risk to become an anti-Semitic person. And Adam Green...
I've been looking into this for 20 years, actually.
Yeah. So
it's not like I haven't.
Sure.
What's important to understand is they call all these people actors, and it really looks like this Giuseppe Mazzini and this Luciferian Albert Pike, this plan they've had for a long, long time, is actually playing out.
Okay, let me block you there also. The actual, you can make a research, but I mean you can find this also in my books. The Mazzini Pike connection, alleged connection, was built posthumous, and it was actually built on the whole fraudulent activities of Leo Taxil. This Leo Taxil was basically a guy, a Freemason, who was working for the Jesuits, who was a member of the Grand Orient of France, who decided to build this extraordinary amount of anti-Masonic propaganda the moment in which basically there was this division in Freemasonry in 1877. Basically, the Grand Orient of France became the home of all the atheists and the future communists like Trotsky, Lenin, and so on, that gave birth to the Grand Orient of the Russian people. But what happened is that basically they needed to throw dirt on the legitimate Freemasons who still believed in God, because this 1877 schism in Freemasonry is very important here. One side believes in God still to this day, which is under the Grand Lodge of England. The other side, the Grand Orient of France, with people like Macron, for example, they are not only atheists, they are Satanists, because Paris was also, for many centuries, the capital of worldwide Satanism. Is the first place where Caterina de' Medici did her first black mass ever. So the thing here is that we need to understand, always to discern, and to understand also where this information is being coming to us from. So in my books, I explain how later on this whole thing about, of course, Mazzini wasn't a saint. I'm not saying that Mazzini was necessarily a good guy and didn't do bad things. And a lot of these people did bad things against Christianity, mostly because they were doing them against the Vatican to unify Italy. Because, as Jordan knows very well, for the unification of Italy, they had to basically find a way to fight the papal states and reduce them to basically this little thing, which is now the Vatican. But before, the papal states were the whole of the center of Italy. It was a big region. So they had to wait, and the Pope didn't want to give up on his temporal power. So when they created this animosity towards the church, unfortunately, they used and they inculcated satanic ideas. That's why you had people like Carducci with the hymn to Satan and whatever. So unfortunately, Italian Freemasonry was corrupt from that moment onwards. And actually, the roots of the P2 go back to that time, Jordan, as you know very well.
I know.
And so the thing when it comes to Leo Taxil's forgery is that still nowadays is very important to talk about it, because a lot of his misconception and also disinformation, imagine this. After 12 years, Leo Taxil came out in the open. He denounced everything. I have it here in a booklet, which is a very rare booklet. Of Leo.
The link there, Leo. You can share it. Leo Taxil.
Yes.
And the Le Mystery Franco. Franco
Leo Taxil, basically, now not many people know this, but I have made an extensive research with the leading historian and academics, also Masonic historians, and we found evidence that this guy, who basically portrayed Freemasonry as this big anti-Christian thing, every Friday meeting with Lucifer and all kinds of things, in the end, he himself was a tool of the Jesuits. So, of course, the Jesuits were always behind the scenes trying to pull their strings.
Always.
Then later on, Jordan, there is another guy who wrote another book, I think in the 1920s, and he created this whole thing with an alleged document regarding Mazzini and Pike and this whole thing about the three wars. Now, when we go also in search where this document is actually held, it's difficult to find it, but then we find where it's originated. We find it is through a Catholic bishop. And we find people in the Catholic faith who are actively playing and feeding this information, which is actually accurate, because we have seen that what they have prophesied, including the Third World War with the Muslims, is actually quite correct, not Jordan. But to blame it on and saying it's Mazzini or Pike, or I'm not saying that Mazzini or Pike were necessarily good people here, but we have to be historically accurate to not feed in unnecessary conspiracy when we have already so many real conspiracies.
Of course, I understand.
Even you have Roerich, Roerich in the 1920s, 30s.
Because this is a lot of based on the research that I've gotten from him. All of these fake religions that he has proven that are all false are being used to play everybody off against each other, while the elite get away with everything. And this is happening right now. Our rights being slowly, piecemeal taken away by this administration in this country. I mean, they're connected to Obaz Lubavitch. They're connected all over the world.
Yeah, but the thing is,
happening.
Listen, my friend, before we give the word, of course, to Jordan, he will answer in his own manner. The alternative is the Jesuits. The alternative is Hillary Clinton. The alternative is the Jesuits, and the Jesuits made a
Joe Biden.
So no, and Joe Biden, who was last year in the Vatican presenting his candidacy. Okay, no, just let me finish the Colin. The thing is very important here, because you see, Trump has given us an opportunity. I know where you're coming from because I saw what Green is trying to push, this anti-Trump. So what are you pushing here? Hillary Clinton? Nancy Pelosi? Well, if you're pushing Democrats and Jesuitry, you can go and fuck yourself. That's what I say. Sorry, from the bottom of my heart. This is a message for Green and his followers. I have a different perspective. I had to flee Italy. I had to flee Italy because I got persecuted by these people. I saw my son taken, I haven't seen for over 10 years. I have real suffering, not the bullshit of Green and his alleged conspiracy theories. Okay? Jordan,
I
please
can
have the
understand
floor.
why I understand why you're saying that, but he uses information, his own people's words from their own magazines, their own books, their own videos, everything that they're saying
but
is irrefutable.
like everyone else.
Yeah, but the problem is when you are citing, for example, the Leotaxil forgery, which everybody knows is a forgery, then it means that you're not evaluating well your sources. And it's very important to evaluate well where these sources, where it's all coming from, because there is a big heresy in the Jewish faith, and they have created a lot of damage for humanity. And the Rothschilds are part of it. And Baron Rothschild was in the Vatican in early November. And Jacob Rothschild met a couple of weeks ago with Prince Charles because of this. I'm not saying that these people are innocent, but to accuse me or accuse Alex Jones or accuse President Donald J. Trump is pure rubbish. And this guy is a communist.
I haven't accused anybody of
No.
nothing. I'm correcting this to Jordan now. I'd like to talk to Jordan.
Sure. I'm not saying it wasn't addressed to you. I'm saying still Green and what he's pulling through his channels. Just so, not you. Jordan, please go. The floor is yours.
Well, I'm learning, just listening, and I'm learning. Continue with what you were talking about.
No, I mean...
Yes. Together, we will make America great again.
With or without Putin?
Well, I mean, there is also the other thing, regarding. But the listener wanted an answer from you, Jordan. So let's be specific about the question. Can you repeat the question for Jordan, please?
Yes, Jordan. Based on your work and based on just a few others, I had to, spend 20 years fishing through riffraff to find what is true out there. And it appears, from what I can see, I'm not blaming anybody or anything, just based on what I can see, that all these fake religions are actually playing out like the protocols of Zion and other things that are out there for people to see. They are playing out just as planned, whether they're called forgeries or not. It's happening. And it seems like these people are all involved in secret societies, and this is all just a game. They call each other actors out in public. There's so many things. They'll give like Masonic hand signals out in public. And it's becoming very obvious, with this double-headed eagle above these secret societies. They play both sides against the middle. And if all of the religions are false, and if Christianity is pushed really hard right now, it seems like they're going to try to create a clash amongst the people, to steer people away from the elite. The real problem here.
Okay, Jordan, you have cleared the answer. Now the question. Now we can go with the answer.
Well, as I said to you before, I believe that Christianity was developed purposely in Rome by Romans that were being led by extraterrestrial knowledge that has been brought to the earth. And this was the story of what was the Greek god who brought fire to the earth? Prometheus. And Prometheus brought fire to the earth that he got from the gods, and he brought down and gave it to the human race. The fire that Prometheus brought was the fire in the mind, the fire of revolution in the minds. And it was called the fire of Prometheus. This is what's on the fasci, on the dime, on the American dime, is a fasci torch. The Statue of Liberty is holding the torch of revolution, the torch of fire. and in front of the Rockefeller Rockefeller Plaza is a statue of Prometheus carrying the fire from heaven. So I'm saying that I believe that the religions and the political situation that we have on the earth today is being given to us. We're being led down the path to follow the path of a revolution, which is far, far bigger than we can imagine. We don't even begin to understand how big this problem really is.
Now, Jordan, it's definitely interesting your point of view, but it is your point of view. But the great thing about being in the West is that we can all have different points of view. Now, there will be a day, though, when this will not be permitted any longer.
Yeah, I think there's going to come a time when anything human is not going to be permitted very much longer. Human inquiry, people asking questions, people talking publicly about the world they live in, that's going to all end very soon. We're in the last and final part of the days where there's any human freedom left. And very soon there will be no time left for humans to question their government, to question their religion, to question anything. We're not supposed to think. You're supposed to be stupid. You unscrew your head and take your head off and take the brain out. Now you can be a Christian. Now you can be a religious person. Now you can vote because you have no brain. You don't think. You don't question anything. And this is why the human race is losing. We're losing every day. We're losing our freedoms. We're losing our minds. We're losing our industry. Jordan,
there will be, of course, those who are viewing us who will say Jordan is not having, though, that hope that a Christian should have in the period of Christmas of something positive that will eventually manifest. Through all these prophecies, there seems to be a point in which evil will be defeated. Do you?
Well, I have people telling me, well, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I say, yeah, it's a train coming.
Guys, of course, Jordan is as controversial as ever. We still have somebody online, I think, on the phone.
Yes. Hello?
Yes, who we have on the phone?
Yes, my name is James. I actually go by Kuzmik. I am actually a UFO hunter.
Oh, yes.
On you from upstate New York, near New York City. I always been pro-Trump from the beginning, and I've been anti-Hillary Clinton because I know her background. My question is, why, when Hillary Clinton and John Podesta, they were mentioning that they were going to disclose the UFO files, they never did. Does Donald Trump, do you know that he has information in regards to extraterrestrials or UFOs?
You want to go?
Especially trying to jumpstart the space force, and if he does, why isn't he releasing? When these videos came out from the Navy that were all over the internet, he didn't really say that he was accepting that they were here already visiting. Does he know about the Eisenhower meetings that the Eisenhower had in Palm Springs, where they made the deal in about having an exchange of technology for abductions, and then he changed his mind. The other thing is Donald Trump went to Fordham University here in New York. That's a Jesuit university. What's the relationship there? Was he a Jesuit, or did he switch to a different type of mentality other than the Jesuit? Or I don't know. That's something that I was trying to inquire.
Okay.
And the last thing, do you think that Trump is part of a type of alien race that is fighting the Anunnaki, who have been controlling the world for a long time? That's it. Those are my questions. Oh, and Tesla. What do you know about Donald Trump's uncle, who had access to FBI files that once Tesla died?
Sorry, brother. Can I interrupt you a second? No, because your questions are now 4. I think you should stay online. Yeah, no, you should stay online and remind us this question, because I mean, I've already lost.
Many questions.
Okay. No, let's start from the first one, and first is going to be Jordan answering, and then I'm going to answer it. So
no, I think you need to answer first.
Okay. Regarding which was the first question, because I lost here. It's like
the Hillary Clinton and Podesta.
Okay.
They said
Okay.
that they were
Yeah.
gonna
Sure.
release files and
Sure.
Trump didn't.
Yeah. No. This is very important that you gave me this question, because it's actually discussed in a chapter of my new book. So actually, I have it very handy here. It's like, okay. So what happened is this: John Podesta, you see, got connected with Pier Giorgio Bassi in Rome during 2016. During the electoral campaign, John Podesta went down to Rome and met with this guy Pier Giorgio Bassi, who is the vice president of the Academy of the Illuminati, whose president, Grand Master, is Giuliano Di Bernardo. Connected directly with the Vatican, with the Secretary of State of the Vatican, Cardinal Parolin. And they have functioned with this new organization, which has been shaping up in the last 5 years, who has made an alliance with the ex-KGB, the people who basically study the UFO phenomenon in Moscow, and brought even Father, I think, Nunes, I think his name, who was the previous head of the astronomical sector at the Vatican, now it's Father Cosomagno. They brought him all the way to Russia. And so they were instrumental as also their connection, because the Jesuits are fully in charge of operations when it comes down to everything that is regards the UFOs, the aliens, and everything else. And that's why they have these big astronomical observatories also in Arizona, near where you live, also, Jordan, no? In Mount Graham, also they have this big telescope, also very controversial, also because the next door neighbor has this Lucifer telescope. And so on. But the thing is that John Podesta has been working with the Russians, aside from the uranium deal and all that, blah, blah, blah. John Podesta and his brother, who are friends of Marina Abramovich and like spirit cooking and occultism, and also, I mean, John Podesta is a pervert. If you go to his office in New York, the images he has on the walls are little children in various positions and all kinds of things. Just his depravity is out of question. But the thing is also that he is connected to this project with the Moscow headquarters directly under Putin, that since the very early days before the Russian Federation, we're talking here about the 1970s, already had contact with these Anunnakis. So they had the connection with these entities in Russia, and then they, of course, work together with the Vatican, and they are the enemies. So Trump is simply not unveiling the whole thing, because by unveiling this, it will simply put you in the hands of these entities who are very, very capable of manipulating humankind and acting a disinfo campaign, because they can make you believe they are your friends when they are not. These are demonic entities, first of all, aside from being extra-dimensional beings and what you call, and I might call, aliens. So this is one part of the answer. The other one is regarding Trump's connection to the Jesuits. The university you mentioned is not really full-on Jesuit university as Georgetown. He has not belonged to a secret society like the Stewards in Georgetown, or the Orb, which is now the latest secret society for the LGBTQ community in Georgetown, or whatever. He is a man of God who believes in Christianity, but hasn't really necessarily felt for the Jesuit trap of Ignazio Loyola's spirituality, like people like Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi found even her husband at Georgetown University with the Jesuits. Of course, the Jesuits deliver a very good education, like the Salesians. Isn't that the case, Jordan?
Yes, but the Jesuits, I told you, and I asked if you knew about the Church of Jesus.
Yeah, sure. That's their headquarters, and then they have their headquarters of Borgo Santo Spirito, where they rule the world from their office there. And if you just cross on the other side, you have the headquarters of the Holy Sepulchre, and then you go down the road and you arrive all the way to St. Peter. Listen, Jordan, one thing about Rome, I was born there. I know, like, the inside and out of my pockets. I grew up. So it's like, But the thing about the Jesuits is, my father, for example, went to school with the Salesians. The Salesians with Don Bosco, who also made some very important prophecies about the future. You remember
The Salesian brothers,
Don
yeah.
Bosco? And they were very catastrophic prophecies. There is some very catastrophic prophecies also of the Holy Mary of the Salette regarding the destruction of Rome. I think that people need to understand the Vatican with the Jesuit Pope is really going against Christianity and against everything that Christianity holds dear, but also against the values of Catholicism, because what we are seeing today is not anymore anything. We can say that with the Second Vatican Council, that the liberal Freemasonry finally achieved and conquered the whole of the Vatican, so they could then destroy the Christian faith and then finally unify everybody in this one world religion. We have seen the Pope in early November with the Imam of Al-Azhar. We have seen the Pope then bring the same document. It's called the Document for Brotherhood. He has brought it to Thailand to get blessed by a Buddhist monk. And he is going forward with the one world religion like no other before. So they want to destroy Christianity because they have already a new plan for you. And it's silent.
Of course they do.
And they don't forget to mention they did the Amazonian synod that is the new religion and echo things and echo fascism. You know, that actually our Uncle Donald has something to say to Borgoglio, Cardinal Borgoglio. He knows him very well because we don't know if he's a communist because he's a stupid or he's a stupid because he's a communist, but you know he's got something to say.
From this day forward, it's
Francesco,
going
yeah,
to
Francesco.
be only America first.
Yeah, because our Uncle Donald, he puts the people right before everything else.
Jordan.
Right? There you go. That's why it's Americans first.
Okay. Now we want the answer of Jordan Maxwell, of course, on this very important topic. And I think also the listener wants to hear Jordan answer. And I think it's very important, Jordan, that you really let us know what is your point of view on this.
Well, I'm telling you, I think I don't know actually enough to comment on this particular point. I think probably you know more than I do on this point because of your life living in Italy and having a better understanding of the blood of the people. But my mother was Italian, full-blooded Italian. Her last name was Bruno. And
Giordano Bruno, so, I mean,
Giordano Maxwelliano. Dammi un caffè, signore. Corto, alto, basso, molto bello. La pasta mi piace, rigatoni. Rigatoni tutta bella, ragazzi.
Mad moderate, as mad as a hat. But why we are great here and why the Leo Zagami show is the most controversial show and all controversies
on Earth. In the solar system. Martians are watching the show. Remember, Mars has no intelligent life. That's
another thing is, for example, the daughter of Donald J. Trump, of course, went also to a Jesuit school, but then she ended up marrying with a Jewish guy, no? And then everybody is attacking him, the son-in-law of Trump, saying, oh, he's in bed with the Zionists, blah, 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 blah. Guys, I want to tell you one thing. The alternative to Donald J. Trump is basically a dictatorship of the AI from Silicon Valley, and everybody else is just a puppet and acting.
I agree with you. No doubt about that. No doubt about it.
I'm Pocahontas.
Pocahontas,
I'm Pocahontas in government, or Nancy Pelosi, or AC Brainless Ocasio. You know, my God.
It's very clear to us that what Nancy Pelosi is doing is just to dethrone or try to get Trump out of office, so then they can finally present to you Hillary Clinton, which has taken enough Botox, fillers and stuff to be represented once again with a new candidacy. Let's remember who Hillary Clinton is. She is a criminal, a full-on criminal, an assassin. Isn't that the case, Jordan?
Can you see, I have a picture here and I want you to see the picture. I'd love for everyone to be able to see it.
Of Hillary Clinton, naked. Oh my God, no.
Can you see this picture?
No, we can see shit.
Okay, which
Put it up,
picture?
Leo.
I don't have it here. Jordan, you should go on the share screen maybe, and I can get it on my side here at the studio.
Just below your picture, Jordan.
Say that again.
If you go below, there is a share screen function, and you can then click it, and then you have to click again, and then maybe we can see what you see.
We can see Hillary Clinton.
So I want to thanks to all.
And some news, Leo. You know, George Soros is being called out by Barr. You know.
Yeah.
So we are there. I think George Soros is the next prophecy. He's going to end up in jail in America.
No, but before he ends up in jail, we're going to end up with a revolution. And I think that Jordan is right on the spot with his prophecy of next October, because you see, a guy like George Soros, who has invested 18 billion, I repeat, 18 billion of his own funds to do a revolution against Trump and against us conservatives to push his open society, he's not going to be arrested. He's going to wage war and unleash hell upon us.
He doesn't know American people.
Unfortunately, we are in front of a very, very dangerous individual.
He doesn't know the American spirit, man. We kick the British, we're going to kick George Soros' ass.
Thank you very much.
Kick him out of the freaking country. I'm coming there with my Apache helicopters and the Marines, man. I got 3 7-foot-tall Marines right here in Portugal. We're kicking some ass, man. The A team is coming back, baby.
Well, I hope
with Hannibal and Phoenix and Face and everyone there. So wait for us. We are going to get you, George Soros. We don't care about your billions, man. We are worth trillions. The American spirit. Right here.
Colin, what do I have to do to send a picture for you?
We have to disconnect now because we're still on the Eisenhower question.
No, I mean, it's
James is on the Eisenhower question. I don't know. Telepathy. Jordan, transmit the message to me.
I could send it to you in an email.
Yeah,
send it to me. Email, Skype, AI, you know, through Star Wars, LGTB, whatever.
Okay, let's resume a bit of this.
Let's resume.
What I'm saying is that we have at times, you see, Jordan is old school, so he doesn't know where to push the right button to transmit us the information that he has for us. So
Jordan, press the freaking button, man.
But we have the moderator, who is as mad as a hatter, and is, of course, transmitting from. Where are you transmitting from today, Colin?
I don't know, dude. Nancy Pelosi, she's on drugs. Pocahontas too. I think I'm going to start doing drugs too, man.
Colin, where are you transmitting from?
I'm in northern Portugal.
Oh, wow. Today,
and there is a new right-wing conservative group here. They have only one seat, but well, they're coming up.
Before we terminate our transmission today, maybe we should touch on something that you definitely know very well, and we discussed in private before going on the show a couple of days ago. What is happening in Catalonia? Because
Catalonia, a little shit territory in Spain with 3 freaking LGTB, 4 feminists, and 3 cowgirls that they want to be independent from the rest of the Spanish fiesta.
Okay, but the thing is that because now the European Union has moved against the sovereignty of Spain by nominating this guy who should be in jail instead, as they nominate him in parliament, and so they make him have immunity. This will shape a confrontation between the EU and Spain.
It's going to be, they're talking about it's Brexit, you know, it's like Brexit, but it's Spain exit, you know. So the Spaniards, they're pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
But, you know, they have nothing, man. They don't have nuclear weapons or military or anything. It's like Italy, man. It's like fiesta, bonita. Nothing's going to happen. They're just going to go on and, you know, drag on this problem for a long time. And Catalonians, they're all sissies. They're pussies, man.
That's true. But it's also true that,
you know,
after Brexit, Italy is also starting to question, and also Germany is starting to question if Italy should stay in any way. But this whole thing of Brexit could trigger a series of countries like Poland, Spain,
Hungary.
So, what is your point of view regarding this, Jordan? Because we are finding ourselves in front of
Civil war.
unprecedented situation here in Europe.
That's why I would love for you to see the picture I have, because it
picture of Hillary.
shows I have a picture of the Pope on his knees.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Stop. Actually, Jordan, I think you
Send it to my email, Jordan.
No. Wait a second, because I think that Jordan sent me this pic, and it's a pic of Pope Roncalli, I think.
Yeah.
Brongoglio.
No. We are talking about the Pope that was nominated, I think, back in 1958.
Mother of God. That's ages ago.
And he was a Freemason. And what Jordan is trying to show us is very interesting, because he sent me this pic, and I should actually go and pick it up. Now I have it somewhere here, because this pic is actually them initiating this future Pope into Freemasonry.
But the article said that he is bowing before the Grand Orient Freemasons in Paris.
Yeah, and
he's on his knees with his hands closed and prayer on his knees before the Grand Master of the Grand Orient Freemasons. And the Grand Master is putting his cardinal hat on his head. And so it's showing that the priest is now on his knees with his hands.
I have it here, Jordan. I have
you got it, Leo.
I have it, so I'm gonna be able to show our viewers what you were talking about all this time. And he's actually, I must say, Jordan, this is actually quite a pic that you sent me.
Legendary. Well, he just scared the shit out of me for a while. You know, I thought it was Hillary Clinton in 1956. And she existed at the time, man. I was like,
here we are.
God.
That's it.
Virgin
That's
Hillary.
the one. That's it.
Okay. So
that's it.
Well, I mean, this is...
But the article said that this was in Paris, and a secret meeting between the man to become Pope and the Knights of the Grand Orient.
And
Grand Orient Temple Freemasons.
Yeah, and let's not forget that this Pope will be the one who will start the Second Vatican Council that basically destroyed the Catholic faith and basically brought us Bergoglio, because without the Second Vatican Council, we would not have had liberation theology, we would not have had everything that in turn brought us.
The Grand Orient Freemasons are the powers behind the communist movement in Europe.
Like I said earlier, yes, you are absolutely right. And this pic of a Pope bending down to a Freemason of the Grand Orient of France, it's very serious stuff. It's very serious.
I know, it's very serious, and the implications are frightening, because it tells you something about the hierarchy of the Vatican. You know, I went to
There is a possibility, though, that this photo could have been taken maybe in Istanbul, not in Paris. I
don't know. All I know is the article said it was taken in Paris. I don't know.
It's possible, yeah. Well, it's possible that it is actually in Paris, because he was initiated originally, this guy, this future Papa Roncalli, I think in Istanbul, but this, of course, might be the moment in which he was actually chosen to conduct the destruction of the Catholic faith. Because what a lot of people don't know is that Cardinal Siri was actually elected Pope, not him, and that they intervened, stopping a legitimate election. They sabotaged it. And a lot of traditionalists in recent years have talked about this topic. And recently I was discussing it with somebody who actually from Canada, who feeds me usually with good information, but we clashed on this one. And I said, I spoke with the last seminarian of Cardinal Siri, who died in isolation.
Canadians. They talk like us, they dress like us, but they're not like us.
No, but you don't understand. This guy was...
No, I understand Canadians. I want to say hi, Merry Christmas to all the Canadians. I understand why the socialists and the communists are so stupid now.
No, but Canada is, of course, is lost with Trudeau. It's completely lost. But going back to the...
Trudeau, do you know this? That somebody said that he was Castro's son.
Son, yeah, he looks a little bit like.
Somebody sent me a picture, but it looks like him, man. I
But
told you there was something phony about Canadians, man. Always,
I will not generalize. There is a lot of good people in Canada. It's just that, unfortunately,
British Columbia.
Unfortunately, they just they don't know who to elect, and when they elect somebody, it's never the right person. It's just like the French, though. I mean, I should show you something that I've just picked up from French TV, from a recording made from French TV. It happened 10 days ago. Clashes between the French police and the French firemen.
And the pensioners. The pensioners also, they're fighting them.
French firemen, meaning the force of the Republic against another force of the Republic, clashing and beating each other up to death. So this is happening now in France because of Macron, who is himself a member of the Grand Orient of France. I actually have a document that shows that I can pick up from my archives. But anyway, thank you very much, Jordan, for pointing that out, because it was really the beginning of the end for the Catholic faith. They forced the election of Papa Roncalli. Then when Roncalli died, they forced the election of Papa Montini. And both times, they actually had elected another guy. And that guy was just kicked out of office. So in the end, we had two fraudulent popes. And they conducted the Second Vatican Council that in turn finished in December 1965, ready for the year zero of Satanism, January 1966. And that was also the beginning of commercial Satanism, pop Satanism with Anton LaVey and all that. So thank you so much for that inspirational photo, Jordan. And thank you so much for being with us today.
I appreciate it. And thank you for having me. I appreciate being here with you.
I hope that you will join us again next year.
That will be fun to do. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. And we wish you a Merry Christmas.
You too.
I don't know if you believe, you don't believe, whatever. We talked about before the show about your wife introducing you to faith. But when I have a guy like you in front, I wish that Jesus enters your heart and gives you everything that you want, because you deserve it, Jordan.
Thank you.
You have been inspirational for so many of us in our young years when we were just starting all this. Both me, Alex Jones, David, everybody. Without you, we will not be here. So
I appreciate it. All I have tried to do was just to awaken my fellow man on the earth I live on, to awaken my fellow man to the realization that nothing is what you think it is. It's far bigger, far deeper, and far more sinister. And I wondered why in the human body, our heart is on the left side. Because in Latin, left is sinister. So God put your heart on the sinister side. The word sinister is left in Latin, and your heart is on the left side. The scripture says the heart is treacherous, and who can know it? Meaning the heart is sinister. Yeah, it's on the sinister side. Left is sinister. And that's why I think it's interesting. You have the sinister side, and then you have what is on the right side. And so if you're doing what is right, you're doing it on the right side. If you're not doing it on the right side, then you're not in the right. You're on the sinister side. And, and I can see sinister.
Jordan, but I'm left-handed, so I'm going to have to.
You have a little bit of communist in you, Leo.
Element. Don't say I have communism in me. That's too much. But Jordan, I would like you to now give us a bit of shameless promotion and propaganda of your products, of how can people contribute and donate to you, because you deserve to have a great start to this new year, also with the promotion that comes from the show.
Well, I appreciate it, and thank you very much again for your friendship. I hold your friendship in high regard, Leo.
Same here, Jordan. And so people, of course, can go to your website. They can find your books there. And
Yes, my website is Jordan Maxwell Show. You have to add the word show, SHOW,
okay.
because there are other websites out there with my name, Jordan Maxwell, but it's not my website. My website is jordanmaxwellshow.com.
Let me show it here. We have it on the side here. Is
That's
this the
it.
right one, Jordan?
Yeah.
There it is.
Perfect.
And you will see up here that you can go on my research website. I have two websites. Original is Jordan Maxwell Show. And when you go there, you will see a link that says to join my research website. And my research website is filled with all of my research I've been doing over the years. It's all there. And I got a lot more coming every day. So you go on my research website and
I
join it.
also know that you will be receiving an award next year at the UFO conference that will be taking place in Nevada and in Laughlin.
Yeah, in Laughlin, Nevada, which is 50 miles south of Las Vegas.
So we also invite people to join you there. And we all wish you really a great Christmas and a happy New Year, Jordan, because you really deserve it and you have done so much for us.
Well,
So,
I appreciate it. And I thank you for your friendship.
God bless you, and God bless you, Colin, who are as usually a nonsense, but we love you for that. So.
Of course, but we have a message again from our supreme leader. And remember, Trump 2020 impeachment is going down. Democrats, they're going down too, and Uncle Donald is going up. And everyone, November 2020, vote Donald J. Trump.
ISIS has.
And let's keep
When you
America
open your
great.
heart to patriotism, there is no room for prejudice.
There's no way back, man. When you're a patriot, there's no way back.
God bless you guys and all the people who have tuned in today. If you want to contribute, you can do it with the donate button you find on top of our channel. Our PayPal is also listed on bottom of all our transmissions. And we are about to bring out my new book. Of course, I will send you a copy, Jordan. You're going to be one of the first ones to receive it. And so please send me your address in private. And of course, you too, nonsense.
Hey, what happened to Eisenhower and James? Is James still there?
Love you
Oh,
both.
you cut him off.
Love you both, and take care, guys. And you behave there in Portland.
I'll try. With no guarantees.
I'm not talking, I know that you will behave. I'm very worried about Colin.
Yeah.
They are coming. They're coming to get you in the Twilight Zone.
Well, I got news for you. I don't think they're coming. I think they're already here. They already got you.
Oh no, Jordan! Don't spoil it, man. Another Star Wars spoiler.
Okay.
Like Chewbacca and Luke Skywalker kissing each other in the mouth.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for